Welcome back to the Bunker Podcast. We are back again with another interview and another guest today, another very exciting artiste.
Oh yes.
Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, just to get that stuff out of the way. But today we have got the first repeat guest on the podcast today, the first return. It is Jasper Elliott, formerly of a band that some of you may know that's been on the podcast before.
Yeah.
But he's riding solo today. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Riding solo, you know. Yeah.
Riding solo. How's it feeling, man? How's it? You know, have you taken to sort of navigating these waters on your own, I guess?
Well, it's definitely been a challenge, you know. But I've tried a few different avenues, and this one it seems to be sticking well. So just riding it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. I always felt that, like, you know, obviously I feel like with music there's an element of working as a team, contribute. I feel like you can adapt to that, but I feel like you always had so many great ideas that it's good to see that you sort of go in your own way, and it's quite unfiltered creativity with you now, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it, I suppose. Yeah, it's kind of, they all kind of sound a little bit different. It's kind of like whatever mood takes me, that's kind of how it turns out, kind of thing. So yeah. Yeah,
you kind of just have to go with what you feel. Really, that's what it's all about. So I don't know. I suppose start with. Like, how did you arrive at this sort of juncture? So you were in a band called Lunarka from a couple of years ago. You guys were on the channel. I was quite impressed. I thought you had a lot of young potential.
Yeah.
And you're in a new band now called Duffy.
Uncle Duffy.
Uncle Duffy. Yes. I like that name. So that's the new band, and you've also got the solo project. Tell the people about how you sort of like arrived. With the new band and the new solo project, I guess.
Okay, yeah. Well, with the new band, it was I wanted to kind of front a band. I've always wanted to do that, and I started to write songs for myself, and I was like, oh, you know, I can see myself doing this. This sounds alright. And then one thing led to another. Uncle Duffy was formed. And that's going well. We've got our own space and stuff, and we're jamming, and we did our first gig a couple of weeks ago. That went pretty well.
How was that? Yeah. I remember chatting to you last time, and you guys were having a lot of fun, sort of like playing live. What's the? How much different is the dynamic when you're playing live with the new crew?
Oh, it's terrifying. You know, I've got to sing in front of people.
You're the bassist, bro.
Yeah,
that's kind of the beauty of being the bassist. You can sort of like
I can just hide.
Yeah, exactly. Kick back, kind of have fun with it. Whereas when you're the lead singer, like you are putting your foot forward. So like I imagine that dynamic is vastly different. You want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I've definitely enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to.
For sure.
I think as soon as I kind of registered that people were like vibing with it, because it's a fairly, I'm not going to say niche because that's a bit pretentious, but it's a different type of music to anything that's kind of going on at the minute, at least as far as I'm aware. You know, I could be chatting shit, but who knows? Who knows? So everyone was kind of like, okay, this is like something different, and then started getting with it, and I was like, okay, this is cool.
What do you mean? What do you mean by? I don't know. I suppose go into that a little bit further. Like, what do you mean by? What do you mean by different, unique, niche? Like,
I guess it's
stylish on a stylistic level, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess it's because I'm influenced by a lot of different types of music, mainly kind of like post-punk and stuff. So kind of the stuff that's a bit out there, tonally or like lyrically, it's a bit pushing it a little bit, and getting into like deeper topics and being like just completely raw with people. So I think like when I could see people listening to what I was saying, they're like, oh God, okay. Like, yeah. But yeah, I guess in that sense it's different. Like especially the gigs that I've been playing with Duffy and the other band that I'm in, that my mate fronts, Dahlia, it's like very hard it's hardcore and post-hardcore, so like people just like beating the shit out of each other in the pit and like stuff like that.
Well, do you like that? Do you like that people show up and it's like we're not here to have like a nice little sing song.
It's I'm gonna hit you in the face now. Yeah. And it's cool because I've always been interested in music like that, and like the heavier kind of side of music in general. So being in a band that's like you do a gig and like people are shoving and pushing and and it's all in good fun. Like no one's like
it's pretty exhilarating.
Yeah, it's just it's high energy. It's good, and like we didn't get that with Lunarka. Like we got a couple of like people swaying.
Well, I was gonna say like because I think striking that duality is good, and it's good that you've got that kind of on your resume forever now. That stuff that is obviously there's like a groove to it. It was a lot of fun, but it was quite kicked back. Like you could play that kind of stuff in your car with your kids.
Yeah.
So do you find there's more of a creative freedom to doing this stuff that you're doing now, where like you're just getting people to like turn the fuck up. It's like really aggressive. It's like maybe touching on more sort of complex subject matter as well. Would you say?
Definitely. It's a political genre as well, like hardcore and stuff. So yeah, like people who turn up, you're all thinking the same, and it's like we're all angry at the same people, and we can kind of share that together.
How on the sort of so I suppose not to sort of go into this too much. We kind of try and keep the channel sort of a little bit apolitical.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. I want you to go a little bit further just now. We touched on it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Just trying to say that like. We kind of take the Michael Jordan. I kind of said this in the last interview as well. We take the Michael Jordan approach. Like conservatives buy sneakers too, liberals buy sneakers too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to upset anyone.
No, of course not.
With that dynamic at like at your, how much would you say you feed into the sort of politics of the music? Is it the kind of thing of like, there's maybe little like metaphorical inferences in there, but ultimately you want people to show up and have a good time, or is it very like on the nose? Like
it's not in your face at all. I wouldn't say that. Like Sammy, he writes a lot of most of the songs, and some of the stuff he showed me, it's starting to lean more. Okay, yes, this is very much a political song. But I think like we've not like written anything that's like that's obviously like
it's more been an organic thing rather than something that you've got out of your head to try to do.
Yeah, it's part of the culture, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's kind of like a mindset that everyone has, and bands write songs about it sometimes, and I guess it's kind of going that direction. Yeah,
and is it the kind of thing where like you feel sincerely like connected, I guess, to that kind of dynamic of the sort of punk hardcore scene, or is it? I feel like superficial is probably the wrong word. Like, do you genuinely buy into the ideas? Is what I'm trying to say.
I think I've definitely got my own thoughts and opinions that I try and express, but they kind of just get muddled in my head. Because there's just so much going on. There's so many things that are happening that no one knows how to control. But yeah, I think just more research. People need to do more research into everything, and like you just figure out what's actually going on. Because it's very obvious if you look in the right places.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a kind of a problem with a lot of like our generation. Don't get me wrong, I've got like my problems with the older generation as well. I feel like talking to my buddy Callum about this the other day, in the sense that like I think there's a dynamic with like some of the older people that are sort of like have like an affinity towards a world that doesn't exist anymore. For example, like I saw in Shirebrook, a video in Shirebrook, which is not too far from my area, where it was there was like an old miners reunion, and they had like a brass band and stuff going on, and it was the dudes of like a certain generation who were working down the pit in like the 80s and stuff. And I thought like it's nice, it's sweet, it's patriotic, but also like they're kind of celebrating something that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So like I think that kind of stuff is a little bit stupid, but then one thing that generation has that is good, that I feel like is a bit lost on us sometimes, is like I feel as though they have I'm not saying like you specifically. I feel like you're a bit more like me. You like to keep up on like world events and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like to be tapped in. But like a lot of our generation aren't. A lot of them are just like,
Yeah.
you know, they're happy being in the 2 up, 2 down, like, you know, new build home with the BMW and
because it's easy and
on finance. Yeah, you know what I mean. And not really paying attention too much to that stuff. But I find with the one thing I kind of respect about the older generations is like they've got an idea of, because they remember it, because they were alive, they know what's been lost, they know what's been sort of sold down the river, whereas we've been born into a world where like this is kind of, the current paradigm of things is kind of all we know.
Yeah.
We only really know things being shit, basically.
Kind of, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, and I feel like that's lost on a lot of young people. It's like, you need to like, yeah, just sort of like you said, kind of like educate yourselves on, you know, just kind of what's been sold down the river really, and like what's kind of led to the current paradigm of things existing in the way that they do now, and you know, the kind of people of this country getting shafted in a lot of ways. And that's what punk music, not to get too political about it, but like that's why kind of punk, hardcore, grunge, that kind of stuff,
it's the voice for that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a rebellion against all of that stuff, man, you know?
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
He said it.
That's not really a question, but what's your thoughts on that, yes?
Yeah, you just summed it up nicely there, I think, yeah, definitely.
I'll try and be articulate.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd be happy to talk about this more, but like, I feel like we're getting quite.
It's like, we're getting quite like QAnon and conspiracy.
Yeah.
We're going to be like,
Oh God.
Yeah, we're going to be getting into flat Earth in a minute. Jesus
God.
Christ. Let's get back to the music, man. Like we've touched a lot on the new band, Uncle Duffy. Tell me a little bit more about the solo stuff, because that's what you've brought to the table today with regards to the live session that we've just done. Keep an eye out for the live session. That's probably going to be, we've already filmed and recorded that, but that should be out soon, because that'll be coming out after the interview, so keep an eye out for that. Tell me about some of the tunes from, this upcoming solo project. I guess start with the 2 that you've got out already, In Waves Underground. Like, what was the sort of conceptualisation behind that, I guess?
Honestly, I've got no idea. It's kind of like, it just came to me, you know.
Like a road to Damascus flash.
Yeah. No, I think I was just, it was a nice Sunday evening, I think. I was just chilling. Actually, I just started listening to Elliott Smith. I love Elliott Smith, man. And I'd never listened to him before at all, but I kept getting on my social media, it was Elliott Smith like fan posts or just songs of his. I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. So I had a bit of free time and I listened to Clementine.
Oh, gorgeous song!
It's a really good song, and the song played through. I googled what tuning he used, and I used that, and then the first thing I played was that, and I was like, sick, yeah, all right.
So there was the lyrics are sort of there's other songs that you've got here like The Showman, which we'll get onto in a minute, and Mob Wife, which seem to be about more like specific things, whereas with In Waves it was more.
It's more of a general.
It's more of a feeling, more of a vibe. It's a bit more like sort of flowery and metaphorical, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because I think whenever I try too hard to write a song that's, I'm going to say Paul McCartney-ish, because he uses all of his metaphors.
Is he your favourite Beatle?
No. He's dead. He's not alive. He's dead.
As the theorists will tell you. Yes, indeed. Were you always more of a John or a George man?
I'm a Ringo man.
You're a Ringo man?
I'm a Ringo man.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting. Yeah. Well, someone's got this. No, he's a lot of fun. He's
good.
Fun.
You know, he gets his feet out on Instagram, so it's got to love it. It's great.
Indeed. As you were telling me about the tune.
The tune. Oh yeah, I guess it's when I try too hard to make something sound like it's all wrapped up in an air of mystery, it just sounds like crap. So it kind of just happened. I guess the lyrics were kind of related to kind of general feelings at the time. because like I've got a pretty stressful job, and I guess like it kind of manifested itself through that. But yeah, it's not about anything in particular, I don't think, just kind of...
Yeah, another one, venting the frustrations of the world. No, cool, man, that's cool. What else was I... Oh, yeah, so I can also hear the... like, we've talked about him in actually the previous podcast we did, but I want to sort of go a bit more into this. The influence of Mac DeMarco on your stuff.
Oh, okay, finally.
I feel like you should...
Yes.
Yeah, you're this big on mastermind subject, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you've got that kind of, like musically, that kind of like chill, kickback, sort of folky style that he has. You very much feed into that. But then vocally, you're much... like a lot like Kurt Cobain, actually. Like you've got really grungy kind of vocals that you can feel in in your chest. Like it gets you in your from the balls. Do you know what I'm saying? like pause.
Well,
because like Mac DeMarco is very vocally he's quite chill and soft. I feel like you can take the musical elements, but combine it with that sort of aggressive grunginess, which is really unique. Like you've struck across something really unique there. So how did you fall across that sound, and what influence did Mac have on that, I guess?
I think Mac, he's influenced my guitar playing. Guitar playing definitely. I mean I just like copy all of his chords, and I've learned so many of his songs. I could fully set up like a Mac DeMarco cover band. If I could do it. But yeah, so I guess unintentionally his music has kind of dribbled its way into the stuff that I write just through sheer repetition of me, copying him basically.
Well, I suppose that you've got to kind of, when you're just coming up and finding your sound, I suppose you've got to take influence from the sort of established people, I guess,
Yeah, but I think...
No idea is original.
No, nothing's new under the sun. No. Nothing's new under the sun. But yeah, I think musically, definitely, Mac DeMarco's there. But vocally, I don't know. It took me a long time to kind of figure out that I'm not absolutely shit at singing. Because I don't know, any vocalists out there might share these feelings, but like when you're first starting out and like with no professional help as well, like not taking lessons or anything, it was kind of just like I need to brute force it. Like I need to be able to sing something. I'm a front man now, I've got to make it work.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
And I just kept practicing, I guess, and I guess this is just what feels comfortable. It's what works. So yeah, that is my voice, I guess.
Yeah, so it wasn't like it wasn't one of those things that was maybe an intentional thing. It was more like this is just what I sound like.
This is the best you're gonna get.
No, you gotta roll with it though, man. Yeah. I kind of think that another one of the great Macs. It makes me actually think a little bit about Mac Miller in a sense.
Mac Miller,
yeah, because he had
he's got a really unique voice.
Yeah, because obviously he had all of the what's the word? Yeah, all of the musicianship. He had really good on the keys, the guitar and stuff. Really good at making his own beat. Obviously, really technically gifted rapper as well.
Yeah.
But I find I imagine, because I adore Mac Miller, but I imagine for people who maybe aren't familiar with him, it's maybe a bit Marmite. You either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
Just because of his voice, just because of the way he has got a kind of a little bit of a jarring voice.
It is a bit. It's a bit in your head. It's kind of scratching at you.
Yeah. It's maybe not the most accessible thing to get into, but he didn't let that stop it anyway. It was people who are going to gravitate it towards it and get what I'm doing and love it.
That's kind of
going to support me to the nth degree, and then whoever it's not for, it's not for them. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. I'd like to. Yeah, I kind of take on that mentality. It's kind of if you like it, you like it. If you don't, it's whatever. You don't have to listen to it,
Yeah. I suppose that when there's so much music out there today, I think it's good that we live in a generation, a time where think about in our parents' generation, through the 60s through until the 90s, well the 2000s really. It was just kind of the music that you had was the stuff that was on the radio, on the music channels. It was all kind of like the same song. Whereas now, like anyone can just record a song in the bedroom and like
literally,
and just put it out, and then if people like it, they like it, which is like it's a beautiful thing, man.
It is great, but I think it also
produces a lot of shit.
I mean, I wasn't going to go there, but
like it produces like I feel like it's gone both ways. I feel like it's like the stuff that's good is like better than a lot of stuff that's ever been before, because there's more of it, it's more competitive, so I feel like the top end is like operating at like a higher level.
It's so
but
extreme.
It also produces like an equal amount of shit as well on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, I mean everything in balance, it's just how it works, I guess.
yin and yang.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Moving on to the Showman, that track, that's much more like country influence. I can hear Mac's influence, Mac DeMarco that is. I can hear his influence all over that track. It reminded me a lot of Here Comes the Cowboy. That one. But obviously without maybe so much of the repetition. Do you want to go into, I mean we touched on it a little bit outside, but do you want to go into a little bit about what that track is about? Yeah,
well, I think lyrically it's about an interaction that I had with my granddad, and I don't think he's going to see this anyway, and he's losing it a little bit anyway. So we think we'll be all right. We'll be all right. It's a no.
Enjoy them while you've got them, though, mate. I can.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I can say it from the position of someone who's lost grandparents, mate. Like.
Oh yeah, we had them round the other day.
You miss them when they're gone, bro. You miss them when they're gone.
Definitely.
But yeah, sorry, as you were. So experience you had with your granddad.
Yeah, so we were at a wedding, and he was drinking a lot, and he was like, I think I said this earlier, but he came up to me, he was like, I'm not saying this because I'm drunk or anything, but I love you. I was like, oh, that's nice, but it sounds like a song. And then I think I wrote down the first 2 lines of the song, like then and there, and then I kind of forgot about it until I kind of got back home and had like a guitar in my hands. And then actually, link it back to Lunarco, we had a song called Liberate, and it was kind of the same kind of vibe, like 12-bar blues type thing. I was like, it'd be funny if I kind of did like a song that took the mick out of that maybe, or kind of emulated it somehow. And then, that was it. It kind of wrote itself.
I feel like your best ideas come to you in sort of, what's the word? Kind of sporadic flashes of inspiration.
Yeah, it's
rather than putting too much thought into things. It's quite an organic process that you've got.
Yeah, I think that sums it up quite well actually. Like I think whenever I try, I'm like I'm going to write a song. It just doesn't really work out the same way as when just something happens at me and I'm like, oh my god, that was something. Like I always keep a pen and paper and just on me. Or in my car or whatever.
Like that, that's something interesting I've seen walking down the street.
Customers that I speak to at work, they'll say something or, just anything. Like I'll hear stuff and I'm like, that sounds cool, and I'll just get it down. Most of it just sits in there and it doesn't do anything, but like
every now and again
I'll just look through it and then, sometimes it makes it in.
Do you think human beings make for the best kind of inspiration, I suppose?
Oh, definitely. Definitely, yeah. Everyone's so unique, so you never know what you're going to get out of someone. It's just having being ready to be like, that was it, I got it.
And it can go one of 2 ways, can't it? Like it can be like, oh, that person right there has like changed my life for the better, and then it can also go the other way of like, when you get like a sort of unpredictable narcissist in your world for whatever reason, like that can be like pretty detrimental to your world, and at the end it's kind of like that kind of unpredictability, that kind of not knowing what you've got. Like obviously you've got to, what's the word, kind of got to give people a chance. Like I feel like sometimes first impressions can be a bit misleading.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But sometimes when it's like, okay, I understand this person's like pattern of behaviour, it's kind of like, you're not good for me to like have around for whatever, or whatever, sometimes you're just better off without certain people in your world,
Oh, definitely, yeah. I've definitely, as I've kind of matured, I guess, because I'm almost 21 now, so I think I've definitely felt a shift in myself, and I recognise that like if someone's not serving you, there's no point in having them around. It's like you've fully got the capability to like keep the people in your life that you want, and also to not have the people that you don't want.
Yeah.
And as long as you can do it respectfully, you can just say, I don't like you anymore, or, whatever.
It's out what you're saying, like, I feel what's the word? Some people that's going to sound harsh, but like, it's not really, it's true of life. I feel like, I don't want to say everything's my buddy Cam, for example, he's much more in the thinking of like everything is transactional, and I don't think everything's transactional, but I feel like it's more, for me, it's more like, I take more of a balanced view, but he's right to a degree, and I respect him for his line of thinking, in the sense that, like, I think it's more like, if someone's people have to bring more positive to your world than like negative. As soon as that balance is out of whack, it's like, it's not worth having you around in my life anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And you've got to toughen up, you've got to get your head around it, because like when you're younger, you let yourself get, taken advantage of and stuff, but you get a little bit older and you toughen up, you don't take any metaphorical shit anymore,
Yeah.
How long did it take you to sort of arrive at that place, I guess?
I think in enough time. Damn, we're getting deep now. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Can do. Having a good conversation, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Definitely. In hindsight, like, I wish I would have seen that. Wish I would have caught that. Whatever. But I guess it took me the right amount of time to figure it out, just like everyone. Because it happens when it happens. Sometimes it takes a bit more effort. Or, sometimes it comes naturally for people, but...
And it has to be a conscious choice. It has to be like...
It has to be...
You have to choose to do it. It's not
like,
no one
I
else
need to be like this now. Yeah.
I suppose that brings us nicely onto your song, Mob Wife.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's got kind of themes of, like... I don't know, this might just be my personal interpretation, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but... hearing that song as I did just now, that's kind of got themes of loving someone, caring about someone, but maybe they don't have your best interests or intentions at heart or whatever,
Well, maybe, I don't know. I think it was. I don't know. I guess I just needed to be honest with myself at the time when I wrote that song, and that's. Yeah, it was more. I think more confessional to the person who it's about, rather than that was the kind of direction that I was trying to push it down.
Without obviously you don't have to give any like specific names. This was like a romantic thing, right? Yeah. Do you want to go a little bit deeper into that? Like, what was that situation?
It was the start of the relationship that I'm in at the minute, because I was kind of unsure where it was going, and kind of a reflection on myself and how that would affect the way that she sees me, kind of like in the second verse of the song, I guess, is more kind of like me kind of saying to myself, this is what I'm doing, like, are you cool with that? And like, this is the stuff that we're doing, like, could it be like something else? I don't know, I feel like I'm like waffling this. I wasn't really like thinking about it too much.
This is what people are here for, man, though. This is it, like, people want to know, the sort of deeper meanings behind the music, the truth behind the art, as you will,
Yeah, I guess I kind of, because I struggle with myself, like, in my head, like, trying to justify things or just worrying about stuff. So I guess I was kind of just in a bit of a hyper mood. I was like, oh my God, this is kind of like, I'm feeling all these things.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the song.
Because I imagine it's kind of like, well, this is probably a bit of an extreme example, but when someone's like bipolar, when someone is that way inclined, or they have like mood swings or whatever, like, obviously the person who like is going through that understands what's going on, and they understand that like in 10 minutes I'm not going to feel that way. But like if he or she like lashes out at their partner, they're not going to know what. They're going to be like, what have I done wrong? Do you know what I mean? They're not going to, they don't understand, because like when you're in a relationship, it's kind of like, things in Shrek, man, are so true of life. Like, human beings are like onions, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're like
layers.
onions, right?
Layers.
So, yeah. So like, I find when you like, I had got my therapist to learn this.
Oh, right, okay.
But I could have just watched fucking Shrek, right?
Oh, God.
Yeah, so I remember when I went through a pretty difficult breakup, getting a bit personally, lads, but here we go.
Yeah.
I had to do like a lot of therapy after that whole situation. And I remember speaking to my therapist about it, and he was saying that when you get into a relationship with someone, it's like when you first meet someone, it's like the first layer of the onion. And you're like, oh, that's interesting. I want to like peel that back and like get to know a little bit further. And it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I want to like get to, want to get to know someone. But you can eventually get to peel back a layer and go, oh, I'm not sure I really like that. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's indicative of like all relationships, really. You can go like 3 or 4 years down like the road and until you sort of like get to that, really. It's like a difficult thing, but
definitely.
It's something that we kind of have to go through. And
which is part of life, though, because everyone's constantly changing. Like, you never wake up the same.
No.
Every day is a new, different version of yourself. So, yeah, that's naturally, over time, people are going to change. You're going to find new things out that, maybe weren't there when you first met them or, whatever, like 2 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. It's a constant cycle, isn't it? People are changing all the time. We've got the project for Uncle Duffy, got the solo project. When should your listeners expect those to be released, I guess?
So I don't know. Even I don't know. It's like it'll be coming at you when you least expect it. Like the last.
You're
release.
Real wanderlust. It's like head in the stars. Yeah, go on.
I think the kind of goal for this is just for me to be able to get music out, and like when I have songs ready, they will be out shortly afterwards. It's kind of like, I'm not going to be, getting people's expectations up and like blasting it in your face. Oh, save my song. Like, I don't know. I don't want to beg for stuff like that. Like, if people want to listen,
it feels cheap, doesn't it?
It does. I just feel like I'm selling a bit of myself, and I don't like begging for people. It's like, oh, please just listen to what I'm doing, please. I'm like, no, it's cool. I want to seem as chilled as possible because I am. It's just it's for fun,
towards that, man. Like,
yeah. I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be nice, to see a few people, or a few more people. I mean, to be honest, like the amount of people that already have like listened to it and like downloaded, I was not expecting that at all. Like, I have monthly listeners now. I was just doing this for fun. Like, I just wanted to get music.
I imagine it kind of what's the word? Sort of makes you realise that people give a fuck about me. I've actually got like good people around me who like care about what I'm doing and stuff. And you maybe don't realise that day to day. No,
it's nice. It's given me a new lease of life. I've got some passion to get more stuff out, get as much as I can. I'm not too bothered about release plans and like which best way for Spotify or playlist and stuff. It's just music. It's just
comes out when it comes out.
It comes out when it comes out, and however much comes out is however much I write. To be honest, I'll
get round to it.
I'll get round. No, because I've got a proper horseshoe up my ass about this. Like I'm gonna be getting stuff out. It's just I don't know when. It's when it's ready and.
Yeah, it's just when it's.
Just keep your eyes peeled.
To a degree, it's like when it's good enough and when you're happy with it. I think you kind of got to be a bit like that.
I definitely had to get over a stage of it's not ready yet. It's just like it sounds alright,
Yeah.
I sound alright. I did the good take. Just get it out.
Well, I imagine what's the word? Do you have any plans of like trying to get signed, or do you very much see yourself with that kind of like you kind of like enjoy doing everything in your own time, and you don't really want someone on your back going, when is this going to be released? Yada yada yada. Like, are you very much comfortable in that sort of independent artist bracket, or?
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, obviously it'd be absolutely lovely if someone came, swooped in, picked me up, and was like,
it's got to be the
here's loads of money, and
yeah.
It's like obviously that'd be fantastic, but no, this is just like a fun passion project. Really, I'm happy how it is now, and it can keep going like this for forever. Really, it's just a way of me. Being able to whinge at people, and if people want to listen, that's cool.
Yeah, man. Well, I think people will gravitate towards it. People will relate to it. Where can people find you online then, I guess?
So I've got an Instagram. It's just my Instagram. It's Jasper_Elliott with a 3. I think. At least that's what it was the last time I checked. My Spotify is Jael, Jaell. It's just
it's quite unique. It's quite a unique little handle, to be fair.
It's cool, man. Cool and quirky. Yeah, that's kind of it, really. I don't have like Twitter or Facebook, or I do have Facebook, but I don't go on it.
It's the whole thing you got to get your head around. All social media bollocks.
Yeah,
it's a necessary evil.
It is definitely. Yeah, if you want to see, if you want to keep up to date with my music and you want to see some pretty rancid SpongeBob memes, follow me on Instagram. I feel like
there'll be as many people interested in the rancid SpongeBob memes as there will be.
SpongeBob, hell yeah. Yeah, just shoot me a message if you want. You can chat or hang out or whatever.
Collaborations, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure having you on, man. It's been a good chat.
Yeah, it's been lovely.
Thank you for coming through, my dog.
Dog.
Yeah, Jasper Elliott with a 3. Check out the good stuff. He's a very, very talented kid. Live session coming soon. Solo project coming soon. Oh yeah, and what's the Instagram for Uncle Duffy?
It is just it is your Uncle Duffy because we are yours. Yeah,
you belong to the people.
Yeah.
Very, very William Wallace, very brave.
Yeah, just don't lynch me, please.
Freedom. But yeah, on that note, it's been another chilling podcast today. Like, subscribe. Good to have you guys back checking out what we got going on over here at the bunker. Got more interviews, live sessions coming up, so stay tuned. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and peace out. Take it easy, people.